Next on MT10 News, the cold weather is here to stay, and we have MT10 coverage with all the latest temperatures.
And rappelling off of the side of a building for charity, and MTSU gives back.
All those stories and more on MT10 News. Your news starts right now. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tanner Stewart is off. I'm Jackson Jones.
And I'm Janida Hendricks. Welcome to MT10 News at 6:30.
Well, Janida, no snowman building for today, but with the temperatures dropping, everyone is wondering, will there be snow with the colder temperatures anytime soon?
Right, I feel the same way. I really want some much needed time off, but Philip Ray joins us live from the MTSU Quad with more on this cold winter weather that's moving in. Philip?
Thanks, guys. You know, we are really getting a solid taste of this winter based on today's temperatures, so I think it is definitely time to break out the scars and the pumpkin spice lattes if we're going to stay warm during this weather. If you can see behind me just a little bit, we're seeing a couple flurries, not very much as opposed to some of the other counties that even had some school closings, especially up into the Montgomery County, Robertson County area that saw those closings. So around here we haven't been seeing the snow really impact us, so it doesn't look like it's going to stick very much as we head throughout the week. And it also doesn't look like this is going to be a very permanent condition. It looks like as we head throughout the week, we are going to be seeing some increases in temperature, so it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad, but make sure you stay bundled up, stay warm. This seems like it's going to be a very cold winter as we head into the upcoming weeks. So Aaron Thomas is going to have a little more information on the upcoming conditions. But reporting for MT10 News, I'm Philip Ray.
Well, Philip, I'm sure as you know, with you standing outside, the temperature is about 30 degrees. It's below freezing actually. And we are going to be seeing some frigid temperatures tonight. Everyone at the Titans game, you guys need to be bundling up because we have some snow flurries in the Middle Tennessee area. As Philip said, that won't last very long. East of us in Tennessee, along the Cumberland Plateau, that's where we're going to see most of that snowfall. And tomorrow we could be seeing some record high-low temperatures, if that makes any sense. If you stay tuned, I'll have more with our extended forecast later on in the show.
Thanks, guys. An accident occurred late last night off of New Classes Highway due to hydroplaning.
I just think the roads are really wet here. I mean, it's ridiculous. These roads, I mean, I've heard about 6 hydroplanes in my apartment just sitting there in the last hour.
I got a chance to talk to one of the police officers for a moment, and they're pretty much as close as we are at this point.
The car and wreckage was cleared last night, and police did not find the driver, and no injuries have been reported.
A burglar decides to help himself to more than just electronics when he broke into a home. A Murfreesboro man came home to see that a burglar not only stole electronics from his home, but also cooked. The suspect got in by throwing a rock through a window, then reaching through the door. The victim cooked eggs and hot dogs and ate chips. When he left, he took a television, PlayStation 3, Nintendo, and wedding ring, as well as a few video games and some DVDs. The Murfreesboro police think it's related to a similar burglary on the same street where the suspect broke inside and cooked a pizza. The police have a possible suspect, but haven't made an arrest yet. For many years, Walmart has pushed their motto of life better and save money to all their customers. But lately, theft has risen in the Middle Tennessee area. Special agents of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation have identified 4 suspects who participated in a large theft about $700,000 in Middle Tennessee, Kentucky, and Alabama areas. Agents were getting information that members were stealing items from Walmarts and converting the value of the items into cash. Each victim is charged with 1 count of money laundering, 1 count of conspiracy, and 1 count of theft of $10,000 from the Middle Tennessee area. People are stepping off a 20-story building in Nashville.
That's not something you really hear about every day, so MT10 News reporter Morgan Massengale tells us why.
Don't worry, they're wearing harnesses and they're doing it for charity.
Typically, if someone was dangling from the edge of a building in downtown Nashville, it would be a really bad thing. But today is a different story. People are rappelling down the side of the Omni Hotel in Nashville to raise awareness about addiction.
We're beginning to change the dialogue about addiction. No longer should anyone feel ashamed or embarrassed because they have a disease, and that's the message.
Mendel founded Shatterproof after losing his own son to addiction.
My son Brian struggled with addiction for almost 10 years, and he died three years ago. And he died because he was embarrassed for what he had, and that's just wrong.
Shatterproof is aiming to end the negative stigma associated with drug addiction, and they're doing that by rappelling 20 stories down the Omni Hotel in Nashville. A lot of the people rappelling here today have been personally affected by addiction.
I have a family member that is relapse, and I want to support it for him so that he knows there's no stigma around this, and it's a great life.
Nearly 100 people showed up to rappel down the Omni. Among the crowd was country musician Lauren Elena. Elena came out with her father JJ to celebrate his 13 months in remission.
My dad's worked really hard, so it's been really hard for him. So, and I've had to watch that, and be a part of this process with him. So we were really excited to be here and support for other families that went through what we went through.
You can do it. You just have to want it.
Shatterproof was able to raise $75,000 at their Nashville event and are projecting to raise $2 million this year. All of the funds raised will go towards support programs for recovering families and addicts.
Thanks, Morgan. The Shatterproof crew is back on the road and will be in Fort Worth, Texas this weekend. Still ahead on MT10 News, one nursing home in Nashville is hoping to make November known for more than just turkey.
And when you think of delivery services, you normally don't think of drones. Amazon is fixing to change that. That's coming up next on MT10 News.
Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Nathan Dearman.
And I'm Bethany Johnson. Welcome to MT10 News. It was the most contested and controversial topic on the ballot this election, Amendment 1.
This topic alone brought people out to the polls that may not have normally voted. Vote 2014 reporter Emily Kinzer talked to both sides on this dividing issue.
Why are so many women traumatized? Why am I, all these many years later, still talking about it?
When you start taking away one right, what other issues and rights are you going to target next?
Contrary to popular belief, Amendment 1 only affects the Tennessee Constitution. This means allowing the state legislature to regulate how abortions are conducted, but some think that's going too far.
I also think that it's a woman's right to choose, and I don't think the government should intrude that closely.
We can do better in Tennessee, and taking away this right is not doing better.
While others think that's exactly what's needed.
We do want to have restrictions so that it's safe, and we do want to have restrictions so that we're not paying for abortions for every state around us.
So I think it's just basic medical protocol that if you care about women and their health and well-being, they should have all the information.
As Election Day draws near, groups are working hard to let you know why you should be voting yes or no.
If I can direct any woman or young girl away from that decision, I stand here to do that.
Getting out there and talking to people, trying to spread the word, collaborating with different organizations, which is definitely something that we've been doing.
For Myra Simons, this amendment hits very close to home.
I find myself just walking through the halls of that place. I can still remember how cold it was, that nobody seemed to really care. It was just very mechanical.
She believes women should have the right to information before getting an abortion.
These legislative measures protect the lives of women, their health, their well-being.
Myra says this could have saved her a lot of heartache more than 20 years ago.
If I had just been told that, hey, sweetie, there's people that care about you, you do not have to do this.
For Dana Tatum, she agrees that women need to be better educated on this, but she disagrees with how this amendment would do that.
Women do need to be educated on the risks that they take with abortions.
So whether it's issues of privacy,
let's not write legislation that has sneaky passages in it that regard to women's health and women's birth control.
Or issues of more control over a controversial practice.
I bought the lie, basically, from Planned Parenthood, that abortion, it's a quick 15-minute procedure and you get on with your life.
People on both sides are passionate in what has turned into be the most debated topic in this election cycle.
You know, Amendment 1, the polls were so close to call after early voting, and last night it was so close up until the very end.
A very heated issue that a lot of people were really looking into. Now, Amendment 1 allows the State General Assembly to pass new laws regulating the practice of abortion in the state. It is important to note federal regulations are already in place.
Now, the governor was surrounded by his family, his friends, and his supporters last night to welcome in his new term. But the question of the night, what's next? He's earned his next 4 years on the Hill. Governor Bill Haslam addressed many issues on his platform Tuesday night after the polls closed and his victory was announced. He shared some of his signature points from his agenda and how he wants to help Tennessee move ahead.
4 years ago when I came, I really, in running, tried to not make a lot of promises, but I really made 3. The first is that we would run the state and the state's budget the same way that you run your business or your family. The second thing that I promised is that we would make Tennessee the #1 location in the Southeast for high-quality jobs. But the third thing I promised was this, is that we wouldn't back up at all in our commitment to making Tennessee the type of place where your children and grandchildren or friends could have the opportunity to learn in a way that they would be prepared for their future. It was a big deal last year when Tennessee was named the fastest improving state in the country when it came to education results.
Education is at the top of the governor's to-do list. Tennessee is the fastest improving state in education, but we're still ranked in the middle overall. Tennessee has also made it into the global spotlight.
It was significant this year when Tennessee was, named the #1 state for foreign investment in the country. Tennessee led all the other states in terms of a foreign direct investment. And so I think that gives us momentum to build on so that we can literally keep growing. I mean, jobs go where other jobs have been, and I think we can keep building on that.
But all of this success is just the beginning.
Tennessee's made great progress in the last 4 years, but we're not done. I mean, we've moved from being, in the 40s when it came to the 50 states for education results to somewhere in the 30s. But I don't think any of us are happy about being the 34th ranked state in the country. So continue the improvement we've made in education thanks to the hard work of a lot of teachers and principals.
Looking back over Haslam's last 4 years, we get to see where Haslam is leading the state for the next 4 years. November 2nd, 2010.
It's with great pleasure, tremendous pride, and candidly, a lot of humility that I ask the next governor of the state of Tennessee, the 49th governor of the state, Mayor Bill Haslam, to come to the state.
Bill Haslam swept up 65% of the vote, claiming 90 out of 95 counties, the most a non-incumbent candidate has ever won for governor in the state of Tennessee. This was the first of many accomplishments Haslam has made in his first term.
Working together, we've created an environment where Tennessee students are improving faster than anywhere in the country.
In the past 4 years, Tennessee has been recognized as a leader. According to the governor's website, Tennessee is leading in education, job creation, and balancing the state's budget, which is exactly what Haslam intends to work on during his second term.
Our schools are improving faster than any in the country.
High school graduates from now on are guaranteed 2 years of college free.
We've helped create more than 175,000 new jobs, managed a difficult state budget. We have the lowest debt in the country. We've cut taxes, and we've positioned Tennessee for more work ahead.
Haslam faces no real competition in this upcoming election. Many people supporting his campaign say this is due to his successful first term. There are some candidates running against the incumbent but have not acquired a lot of financial backing or political reputation. John McCamey, Charlie Brown, Basil Marceau Sr., and Ron Noonan are on the ballot for governor. But none of these candidates have even come close to the recognition Haslam has throughout the state of Tennessee. He wants to start his next term by spending less. Tennessee is $300 million under the expected budget, and Haslam wants to proceed as carefully as possible, saying you have to run your government in a less expensive way to do that.
We've been deliberate about not spending money that we don't have, and in making a concerted effort to save for the future.
Now, Haslam ran unopposed, so clearly he took this by a landslide.
He did. Compared to his 2010 election when he ran for mayor the first time, or for governor, he campaigned for 2 years. Compared to the 6 months he campaigned in this election, he wanted to focus on just running our government and pushing Tennessee ahead as much as possible.
Now, earlier this morning, a tractor trailer overturned and has blocked the left lanes of I-65 South at the interstate junction in Nashville. The driver lost control and hit a barrier on the left side of the highway. TDOT is in the process of clearing the accident and projects that they will be done by noon. Nobody was hurt in the crash. Police say a man was assaulted at a Hermitage apartment by a gunman posing as a maintenance man. According to the victim, the person at the door said maintenance and told him to open the door. Police say the man was carrying a shotgun and was wearing a black mask and forced his way into the home and fired 2 shots inside the apartment. The victim said the gunman ran off after he used the door to push him outside. Police are still investigating.
A homeowner is claiming self-defense in the shooting of a home intruder. The homeowner was watching television in the living room of his Antioch home when a gunman wearing a bandana came into his home demanding money. While the gunman was demanding more money from the homeowner's wife, the homeowner went into his bedroom and retrieved a .45 caliber pistol. The homeowner says that the gunman raised his gun, so the homeowner opened fire on the intruder. The gunman died shortly after arrival at Vanderbilt Medical Center. No charges have been filed. Still ahead on MT10 News, the results are in and Red and White is coming to a grocery store near you.
And one study abroad program is proving that not every Middle Eastern country is to be feared. That's coming up next on MT10 News.